China's most successful robot dog company sells a machine for $1,600. That does things American military robots costing over $1,65,000 still struggle with. And here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. Some of the core technology inside that Chinese robot dog was developed using American military research money. So how did US Army funded science end up inside one of China's biggest robotics companies? And why could not America build the cheap version itself? Let's break it down. Between 2010 and 2020, the US Army funded a research program called the Robotics Collaborative Technology Alliance, bringing together researchers from the University of Pennsylvania, MIT, Boston Dynamics, and NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. In 2016, Penn researchers made a genuinely important breakthrough, moving a robot's motors directly into its legs instead of relying on one heavy central gearbox. That single design change let quadruped robots sense and react to uneven ground far more effectively. By 2019, MIT built on that work with the mini cheetah, adding strength and even the ability to backflip. One of the researchers behind it, Ben, published his master's thesis detailing the actuator design behind it. Within 6 months, he says, Chinese manufacturers were already producing copies of those actuators sold openly online. Meanwhile, in China, a company called Unitree had already been founded 3 years earlier by Wang. His own 2016 master's thesis cited MIT's Cheetah research directly and separately credited the Army-funded work for what he called its pioneering contributions. One researcher who worked on the Mini Cheetah project said Unitree's popular Go series robots ended up matching its dimensions almost to the millimeter. This is really the heart of the story, and it's less about copying than about what happened next. Unitree's $1,600 Go-To robot launched in 2023 and helped the company explode in scale, selling more than 18,000 quadruped robots and 5,500 humanoid robots last year, with the company valued at around $9 billion ahead of going public. Researchers who worked on the original American technology don't dispute that Unitree engineered its own path to mass production. One of them put it plainly, bringing the technology to real life at scale was entirely Unitree's own achievement. What America had was breakthrough research. What China had, sitting right next to Unitree's base in Hangzhou, was an entire industrial cluster of suppliers producing motors, gears and actuators backed by China's dominance in processing the critical minerals those components depend on. That combination let Chinese manufacturers turn a research paper into an affordable product in months, not years. The gap between American research and American manufacturing has put the US military in an awkward spot. In 2023, the Army actually obtained a special federal waiver to buy 2 Unitree Go-To robots because officials could not find a domestically made alternative of, in their own words, satisfactory quality. American-made equivalents exist, but they cost far more. Ghost Robotics, founded by one of original Army-funded researchers, sells its Vision 60 robot for upwards of $1,65,000, more than 100 times the price of Unitree's cheapest competing model. Washington has since started pushing back. In June, the Pentagon added Unitree to a list of Chinese military companies. In July, the FCC banned imports of future humanoid and quadruped robot models from China, a move Beijing has threatened to retaliate against. Both countries, meanwhile, are already experimenting with arming these robots. US Marines tested a robot fitted with a rocket launcher in 2023, and Chinese state television has shown Unitree robots operating alongside PLA troops, with one modified robot even shown firing a mounted rifle. What makes this story matter goes well beyond one robotics company. It points to a structural gap between how the US and China turn ideas into products. America still leads in fundamental research, but as one industry analyst put it, American venture capital has generally chased software returns rather than capital-intensive manufacturing. China, by contrast, has spent a decade deliberately building the industrial capacity to manufacture almost anything at scale and low cost. As part of a national strategy Xi Jinping laid out back in 2015. As one researcher close to the original army program summed it up, this was never really a fight between individual companies. It's a contest between private American firms working alone and a coordinated national industrial strategy in China. And for the Pentagon, the lesson is a difficult one to swallow. Winning the research race clearly isn't enough anymore. Without the industrial base to build what that research produces cheaply and at scale, someone else will build it first.